Joining me now is Dr. Shashi Panja, West Bengal Minister of the Trinamool. Nalin Kohli is the BJP spokesperson. And ML Sharma is former Special Director at the CBI. I want to come to you first, Shashi Panja. Why not accept that when your minister's aide is caught with 20 crores, not 1, not 2, 20 crores in cash, minister arrested, Kolkata High Court has intervened in the case earlier, why not accept and sack the minister rather than pointing fingers at the BJP first? First sack the minister and accept some kind of accountability when someone has a prima facie corruption case against them.
No, this is as simple as this, that the aide that you are speaking about is not a direct member of Trinamool Congress, or neither is she elected from Trinamool Congress or a public representative or a portfolio post holder of the Trinamool Congress. So we cannot really accept responsibility of the fact that cash was found at her home, documents were found at her home. Now, speaking about Dr. Partha Chatterjee, the Honorable Minister of our government, we are waiting, the investigation is on. Just remember that CBI was investigating twice. He was interrogated. He turned up for interrogation. That was an ongoing process. The ED has stepped in further. So let us allow, I mean, he is still, as we are not defending anything. Honorable Chief Minister today, in a very important speech today, did mention about zero tolerance, did mention that the party or she would not
No, ma'am, if there is zero tolerance for corruption, prima facie, they sack him. If there is zero tolerance for corruption, if he is exonerated, he can come back. But what is this practice that you are not going to even sack ministers when they are arrested?
No, there is a difference between accusation and guilty. You know, this is the issue. This is where we start saying that somehow, thanks to you for the chronology that you set it, that yes, there is a misuse of the agency. But having said that, you know, allow these institutions to function independently. We want that they function independently with total autonomy. Honorable Chief Minister said, let there be a fast-track court, but let the justice be done, let the verdict be given. But how do you expect?
No, so how can a minister run his ministry? How can your industry and commerce minister run his ministry from jail? The fact is, whether this will be decided by a court of law, whether the ED has fixed him, whether he is guilty or not. But prima facie, when you are arrested in such a major case, the first thing you do is take the resignation. There was an age in Lal Bahadur Shastri's time where ministers would resign for a railway accident. And now you don't even resign when there are corruption charges against you, Shashi Panja.
No, because Partha Chatterjee, Dr. Partha Chatterjee is still fighting the case. He is still fighting case. Probably we don't know, we are not there, but he is definitely fighting for it. So we have to allow, you know, that his arguments to be placed or whatever. I mean,
he's fighting a case by faking illness.
And you are telling us to accept. No, he's not faking illness. Now, this is a big thing. Yeah, this is another thing. I'm a medical practitioner myself. Now, the extent to what one can go is that now there is a division amongst the doctors. So you cannot trust the doctors at the premier institution in Kolkata in West Bengal like SSKM, but you will trust the doctors in Command Hospital or in AIMS. This is a very funny situation. So there is division even there.
So he's not going to be sacked.
So
he's not going to be sacked. Let me get it one last time. You're not going to sack him until the inquiry is complete. Am I correct?
See, so that is what the Honorable Chief Minister has very clearly said, that the moment we know that yes, he is guilty, it will not take us much time to take the next course of action.
I see. Okay. Nalin Kohli, I want to put another graphic on screen because, you know, this is very interesting. I put a graphic of all the opposition leaders under the ED scanner. Now take a look at this. B.S. Yediyurappa, accused of land and pining scams, CBI probe inconclusive. Shuvendu Adhikari of the TMC, moment he switched to you, the probe is stopped after he joined BJP. Reddy brothers of Bellary, accused in a 16,500 crore mining scam, CBI closes case. Hemanta Biswa Sarma, your new poster boy in Assam, accused in bribery scandal. The moment he joins you, probe is stopped. Shivraj Singh Chauhan under scanner in Vyapam scam, CBI clean chit in 2017. Ramesh Pokhriyal, former Uttarakhand chief minister, accused in land scam, no probe. Narayan Rane, your union minister, accused in a 300 crore money laundering racket, probe stopped after he joined BJP. So it's one thing. It's one thing to say this is now emerging as a washing machine. We'll come to Nalin Kohli in a moment. His line is cut at the right time or wrong time for him. ML Sharma, former special director CBI, what am I to understand? One rule for the opposition, one rule for the government?
I can't give you a categorical answer to this. The fact is that leaders of opposition whose names we have mentioned, date-wise arrests and investigations, well, I have no brief for them because I can have a brief for innocent person who is not indulging in corruption, but not for those who are indulging in corruption, regardless of whether they are in the ruling party or in the opposition. This is the first point that I would like to make. And second, as far as closure of cases against the ruling party politicians concerned, please remember to infer from this or to insinuate that correct investigations were not carried out wholesale against these people by the investigating agencies may not be correct, because even if the investigating agency conducts incorrect investigation, then there are courts who monitor the cases or supervise the cases. If investigation is not conducted properly, the magistrate has authority in law to redirect further investigation of the matters. Therefore, one shoe doesn't fit all situations.
I take your point. I take your point, sir. One shoe doesn't fit. I take your point. One shoe doesn't fit all situations. Nalin Kohli, you're with us. Now answer the question. The BJP is being accused of being a washing machine. One rule when you're in the government, one rule when you're in the opposition. Suvendu Adhikari switches sides. All cases against him are slowed down. Hemanta Biswa Sarma, Yediyurappa, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Ramesh Pokhriyal, list is long.
First, let me come to the beginning part of your program. You named several opposition leaders and parties, and with an idea that as if the investigations are not bona fide and perhaps they are mala fide.
I didn't say that at all.
Let's reconstruct each one of them. In the first case, no, I said it gave an impression. I never said you said that, Rajdeep. You do know I'm a lawyer, so I'm very careful with my words. So therefore, my point is that in each one of the cases that you named at the beginning of the program, the subsequent events only confirm that none of them seem to be bona fide in terms of the people involved, and the agency was clearly seemed to be right. You yourself quite correctly pointed out 21 odd crore rupees is a lot of money in the case of Dr. Partha Chatterjee. In the case of Satyendra Jain, you have a minister whose transactions he says I can't remember, which begs the question that why was he in the government if a man can't remember financial transactions from dubious companies? I mean, you can't take the oath of constitution and say you'll discharge it for the welfare of the people if you can't even remember from where money is coming into your account. So, I mean, case after case. Now, let's come to your allegations against the BJP leaders. Let's pick one by one. You picked up Dr. Hemanta Biswa Sarma. You're referring to a very infamous case. He was discharged from the court. There was nothing there. But it's a convenient allegation made by the opposition parties as if he was reaped in corruption. Show me that case, na, and show
No,
see
sir,
the court orders.
Sir, with due regard, Nalin Kohli ji, with due regard, sir, those accusations of corruption against Hemanta Biswa Sarma were made by in the Louis Berger case and in the chit fund case were made by the BJP when he was in the Congress. It's not someone else who made them. When Hemanta Biswa Sarma was in the Congress, the BJP made the corruption allegations against him. Moment he joins you, he's as clean as Snow White.
No, exactly. Absolutely. That's why I'm saying do your homework. Go and check the whole thing. Ask your research team, my friend. The point is we made those allegations. He fought against the BJP on those allegations and subsequently came out clean from the court. I mean, so that's very convenient. Just because we raised an allegation, we had reasons to believe that it may be so. He fought it out in the court and came out of it innocent. So we are supposed to hold it against him and us.
Look at Shubhendu, case after case. Look at Shubhendu Adhikari, look at Narayan Rane. All of these people, serious corruption charges made against them. No, how is it that the rules are different? You see, that way you are weakening your own case.
No, not at all. So I have given you a very strong answer on Dr. Hemanto Biswa Sarma. Now let's come to Shubhendu Adhikari. While Shubhendu Adhikari was there, we kept attacking him. No doubt about it. When he crossed over, we got to know the ugly face of the Trinamool. We realized what the Trinamool is made up of. The Trinamool is perhaps the most anti-democratic party in the state of West Bengal ever. I mean, they can go to anything. I mean, 150 of our workers have been strung alive. They've been killed, murdered, maimed, all of it.
No,
Nalin Kohli, this is a party, we now realize that is the structure there, not an individual.
Why is it that probes, you are a good lawyer, why is it that probes are stopped the moment people switch sides?
Of course.
You are a lawyer of repute.
They haven't stopped. Nothing has stopped.
You are a lawyer of repute. This argument just doesn't stand.
Not at all. Nothing has stopped.
1 minute, ma'am.
See, the first point is, 1 minute, Dr. Panja, please. I heard you patiently, Dr. Panja, and you are a very erudite person, and we've had very, civil discussions on our debates. Let's keep it that way, ma'am. You're a senior person. So let me come down to it one by one. See, you are making an assumption, Rajdeep. There are two assumptions, and I'm trying to deconstruct both. The first is in the case of people like Hemanto Biswa Sarma, I've given you an answer. And I've shown that he went out there, fought against the BJP charges and got a clean chit. So if he gets a clean chit from the court, how do you do an investigation again in that case? The second is the case you are saying that why aren't they being pursued?
Repetitive.
Let me put another argument to it. Tell me. No. Madam, I am entitled to answer the question in the manner.
I
outsource my answer to you, Dr. Panja.
Complete the answer, ma'am.
Let me finish my point. No, but exactly, I don't need your help to answer me. So now let me come to the other. You are making an assumption that the cases have stopped. In the cases of anybody, A, B, C, tell me in one of them, if there was anything, have we ever stopped? We do not tolerate it. Show me one corruption case which has come out in the
So the 300 crore money laundering scam, 300 crore allegation made against a Narayan Rane in a money laundering case by Kirit Somaya of the BJP suddenly disappears the moment he joins you and he's now a union minister. It's a wonderful washing machine, my friend Nalin Kohli. But Shashi Panja, just as the BJP is accused of a washing machine, look at how your leadership changes its stand. First, you didn't believe in the judiciary when they first put this education recruitment scam. You didn't believe in the Enforcement Directorate. Now you are saying you want a time-bound inquiry and whatever the court decides, you will follow. Now you've also got to be consistent. You can't, I come back to it, you can't be hiding a minister who's got such serious allegations against him. Sack him.
No, of course we have faith in the judiciary. There is an ongoing, the case is sub judice. What Mamata Banerjee just did was, she said that yes, there were about, say, over 1 lakh appointments. Maybe there were 200 at fault. So I am creating the extra post also. But that is an administrative decision that she took in the cabinet and we all endorsed it. That is another issue. But the point is, we have full faith in the judiciary. We've never deterred from that. I mean, obviously, there's an ongoing
What are you scared of, Shashi Panja? Are you scared that Partha Chatterjee's case will lead to the Chief Minister's office? Could he have done all this without, in some way, the patronage of those at the top?
Goes without saying.
Rajdeep ji, I mean, in Shubhendu Adhikari case, Matthew Samuel, who actually brought up the Narada scam, he himself is asking that I had videos of Shubhendu Adhikari too. Why has he not been even called one day for an investigation? For interrogation, not one day. What is Nalinji trying to defend?
You know that?
And even the person who's accused in the Sharada Narada, Sudipto Roy, he himself has mentioned the names of these people who were accused. Out of them, the ministers were called, they were jailed, but Shubhendu Adhikari was not called. That's about
May I answer?
It's very obvious and naked about that.
May I answer?
And BJP, here, Chief Minister or the leader of the party is talking about that ministers will not be spared, people of my party will not be spared. But BJP party does not say anything about those people who are accused and who belong to the BJP
You
party.
made your point, but
now,
Nalin,
we are not defending anybody.
Nalin Kohli, today, before I go to the CBI Joint Director for final word, why not accept? You know, it is just the circumstantial evidence is too strong. In case after case, are you telling me that in Karnataka, there are no cases of corruption? 40% commission is the deal which contractors are claiming on record. And yet there will be no ED that goes to Karnataka. It's almost as if India is geographically divided now. Opposition ruled states where the ED works and BJP ruled states where the ED sleeps. That's the impression. Now, let's not kid ourselves anymore on this.
That's a convenient argument.
That's
I'll give you
the
an answer to
reality.
that. No, let me go straight away on this. Rajdeep, no, that's not a reality.
It is.
In every one of the cases, the ED or the CBI has gone against an opposition leader. No, 1 minute, hold on. In each one, there is enough that the media has itself reported on how bad those cases are. So instead of complimenting the ED and the CBI, we are not going to allow somebody to build a whole case against their functioning.
I will build,
They've
I
gone
will
ahead and
compliment
found
them
proof
the day
and
they
they've taken
arrest
action, and
people in
very well they
BJP ruled
should.
states as well.
1 minute.
Hamam mein sab nange hain.
No, I like that, Mr. Sardesai. I am sorry. That's a convenient and with due respect.
Sir.
That is also a legally, politically, constitutionally incorrect comment. How can you say I will compliment them if they arrest? Is an arrest a tit
If
for
they're
tat?
even-handed.
You are to compliment them for the work that they do. Not on the basis of how you would like to. First you compliment them on this. You may criticize them on what you don't
I have
like.
already
But you
asked
can't
for the
bring
sacking of
compliments
Partha
on
Chatterjee,
the
sir.
basis of
I have
your
asked for
saying
the
that they
sacking
should
of
take that.
Partha Chatterjee.
No, 1 minute, hold on.
Slow
Your-
conviction
Sorry.
rates.
Sorry,
You
Mr.
see, the idea
Sardesai.
is-
Ma'am, you can't
You
intervene,
picked your
please.
words
Ma'am,
very
let him
carefully,
speak.
and I'm telling
Ma'am,
you right.
let him speak.
You said I will. 1 minute. Again, Dr. Panja. 1 minute, Rajdeep. With due respect, I will compliment them when they will take action against the BJP is not the correct stand.
Against
You
all,
compliment
against
them for the
all
work and
corrupt people,
criticize them for what
against
you
all
believe is
who are
not their
corrupt,
work.
against all who are corrupt.
Sorry, you
Corruption
can't.
cannot be selective.
Sorry.
Okay.
That is not correct and I will disagree with you respectfully.
Okay.
Now let me come to the second part of it, which is with regard to it. Somebody is aggrieved with a BJP leader. I mean, is it only the ED? Is it only the CBI? What about a Section 200 complaint in the courts? Are every judge in the pocket of the this?
Good
You
point.
make an allegation against investigative agencies. What about this? Who stops you to take the evidence and go to the court? Who
Good
stops
point.
you from filing a private complaint against a person under the CRPC?
Mr.
So
Sharma,
therefore, it's very
Mr.
convenient
Sharma, do you agree
to
with
hide
that?
your corruption, an opposition party, against somebody else.
Mr. Sharma, do you agree that if the opposition parties feel so strongly, they should go to the courts and claim that the ED is acting in a selective manner? Otherwise, it's not just good enough in a court of law.
Well, legally this is a correct statement, but I would like to make a broad point on your channel. See, point is corruption, regardless of the people involved, whether they are the ruling party or the opposition and all that, because today who is the ruling party, tomorrow will become opposition. Regardless of that, regardless of political considerations, this nation has to come down heavily on them.
Absolutely.
We should agree on this.
Absolutely.
Chief
I
Justice
think you
of
make
India
a very
other day
strong, I
said
agree.
that process is punishment.
Absolutely. So
he
you're
said, Chief
saying,
Justice of India said that process is punishment.
that's right.
And this process should continue regardless of the political color of the person concerned.
Well said, and I think we all agree. Regardless of political color, the ED must come down heavily on all involved. I repeat, ALL, whichever party they belong to, and then we will compliment them every time they do it. Because otherwise, while we certainly call for the resignation of a Partha Chatterjee on the show tonight, and we're not being a kangaroo court, ma'am, when we do that, we also expect that the ED will be completely unbiased and non-partisan in its functioning. Shashi Panja, Nalin Kohli, ML Sharma, I appreciate all of you joining me here on my talking point tonight. Thank you.